Y'all ready to stand up for America? Well, tonight you have heard, or maybe you haven't at all, a vision for America. And I want to offer another one. Not from Washington, D.C., but from the neighborhoods of Minneapolis. Because while State of the Union speeches are delivered beneath a grand dome in our country's capital, the state of our union is lived out in cities and neighborhoods. You can hear it in the classrooms. You can feel it in the corner stores. It's felt in parks and small businesses. It's tested in moments of darkness and strengthened in moments of unity. And I didn't become mayor to spar with presidents. I ran because I believe government, especially local government, can help people. There's honor in filling potholes. There is nobility in building affordable housing. There's pride in making sure that a family can walk safely to school or open their businesses in the morning. That's the job. And the job works best when we work together and show up for each other. When community leaders and public safety officials sit at the same table, and when local government stays connected to the community that it is charged with serving. Right now, all of us, not just elected officials, but the American people, are being asked to stand up for the foundational principles that bind us together. This is not about partisanship. You all know that very well. It's not democratic to believe in the Constitution. It is not Republican to believe in due process. It is not liberal or conservative to think you should be able to walk down the street without being questioned because of the color of your skin. These principles, they matter most when they're tested. And when they're ignored, communities feel it immediately. What does not make a city safer is chaos, or the use of overwhelming force and brutality to punish an entire city for its politics. It leaves people feeling decidedly unsafe, afraid to go to work, to the grocery store, or even to drop their kids at daycare. When power is used to intimidate rather than protect, people feel it. And when government overreaches instead of serves, people feel that too. I want to tell you the story that we've experienced directly in Minneapolis, because over the past 2 months, Minneapolis has faced fear at our doorsteps and pressure from beyond our borders. The federal government militarized ICE and sent them into our city. Violence got worse. The death toll rose, and residents lived in fear. But something else happened too. Minneapolis did not bow. We did not break. We did not betray our neighbors. Residents showed up for one another in sub-zero temperatures. They created safety networks and mutual aid systems. They stood up in courtrooms and community centers. They met fear with something even greater than resistance. They met fear with love. And this is what democracy looks like when people step up and then they defend it. And this is what democracy looks like when we unite. But unity, as you all know in this room, doesn't mean uniformity. We're a country of fierce debates and big disagreements. The best ideas don't win out because dissent was silenced. They don't win out because might makes right. The best ideas win out, get this, because they're the best ideas. And I know there are Republicans, maybe even watching tonight, who care about federalism. The idea that the government closest to the people governs best. Maybe you're concerned about the federal government's overreach or intrusion on basic freedoms. Maybe you're concerned about an occupying force, laying siege to great American cities or towns. Maybe you're concerned about that occupying force attacking your way of life, your ability to do business, go to church, or even lawfully carry a firearm. Y'all see where I'm going here? Consider you may if you have those perspectives, something common with Minneapolis and how Minneapolis residents have felt over these last couple of months. In Minneapolis, we haven't typically been the city of don't tread on me. But I trust that this American value, held dear by the right, doesn't resonate any less when felt by the left. When we defend due process, we're defending conservatives and progressives alike. When we defend the First Amendment, we defend speech we agree with, and we defend speech that we don't. When we insist on checks and balances, we protect the entire American experience. And let's remember something else. Cities are not abstractions. They're people. They are the small business owner who opens the shop at 6 in the morning, the immigrant family working 2 jobs and saving for their first home, the veteran coaching Little League. And they are 435,000 residents in our northern city of Minneapolis and millions more in cities across this country. People who simply want a fair shot, a safe neighborhood, and a government that treats them with kindness and respect. That's not too much to ask for. And when those residents stand up peacefully for their neighbors, you know what that is? Something deep and important. That's called patriotism. When they vote, when they serve on juries, when they speak out, that's patriotism. And patriotism is not blind loyalty to a person. It is fidelity to an idea. The idea that we are a nation of laws, that no one is above the Constitution, and that freedom belongs to everyone. On a personal level, I feel this not just as a mayor, but also as a father, as a husband, as a neighbor. When I tuck my 2 young daughters in at night, I'm not thinking about politics. I'm thinking about how the city that they will grow up in will conduct itself, whether they will feel safe walking to school and to work, whether we'll be able to find and live in a community that they love. And frankly, I'm just making sure that they've brushed their teeth, and I'm hoping not to read the same book for the 47th day in a row. You know, I'm also, though, thinking about the country that they're going to inherit and whether our democracy will be stronger than the one we were given. These are questions that I'm not alone in asking. Millions of parents are asking that right now, tonight, as they watch this other speech. And what I've learned time and again is that collaboration with those that you disagree with can actually work. In Minneapolis, I've worked with business leaders and labor leaders, with community activists and police officers, with Democrat and Republican lawmakers, because at the local level, ideology matters far less than whether the street light turns on and whether that park is safe. That roll-up-your-sleeve spirit is what our country needs more of right now. We must love our cities and our country more than our ideology. And so we all can disagree on everything from immigration policy to taxes and regulation. But we cannot disagree on whether constitutional rights apply to everyone or whether the Department of Justice exists to uphold justice, not pursue politics. Unity, and let's hear it, does not mean silence. Unity means standing shoulder to shoulder around shared principles, even when we argue about virtually everything else. So tonight, my message is going to be really simple. To local leaders, do not bow your head in despair or govern in fear. Stand up, speak out, defend your people. The oath you took was not to convenience, it was to the Constitution and to the families who trust you to protect their future. To the American people, this is your country. You built it. You showed up from a million different backgrounds, a million different starting points, and decided to call this great place home. This is your moment. Capture back that flag. Reclaim the meaning of patriotism. It does not belong to one party, one movement, or one voice. It belongs to each and every one of us. And so now is not the time to simply observe or only to stay engaged. Now is the time to step forward, to organize, to vote, to serve, to run, and to build, and to defend the ideals that generations before us fought to secure. And to anyone who feels exhausted by division and worn down by politics of coercion, remember this: democracy has never been passive. It requires more than effort. It requires you. Every generation of Americans has been tested. They did not inherit a perfect nation. They inherited a responsibility. And when their moment came, they chose to act not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. Now it's our turn. It's your turn. There will be a moment when you're tired, when you don't want to knock another door, make another call, attend one more meeting. Do it anyway. Do it for your parents. Do it for your kids. Do it for your neighbors, regardless of where they're from. Do it for the people that don't have a microphone. We are not spectators in this moment. We are stewards of an American experiment, and together we're going to claim this fight. We're going to claim it for our country, for our freedoms. We're going to claim it for patriotism big enough to include each and every one of us. So you all have seen it. Minneapolis has shown the world that the forces of terror and division can never conquer a city that loves its neighbors more than it fears retribution. That spirit does not belong to one city. It belongs to America. Because in the end, the state of our union is not measured by applause lines. It is measured by whether we still believe in each other and by whether we still believe in democracy. And God knows I do. I know you do too. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.